at lovedreamingbeach.com.
What time is it? It is 10:24 p.m. It is Monday, August 26th, 2024. I'm going to get on my bed. The lighting is so pink and purple. So I really just wanted to do a quick video. What do I want to talk about? I want to talk about putting my phone down. Let's see. Put you on my little stand here. How's that? So, what did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about, well, like the video that I put out, the text. So, on my YouTube channel, I post longer videos, long form videos, and there's a particular person who has been commenting regularly on my videos, and I think it's a lady. She's a Trump supporter. When I posted a video a week or so ago, she commented asking me, I'm going to use code words, is walls a PDF file? And for a second I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, you're transphobic. Oh, okay. And then that person responded saying, oh, so I guess you're okay with childhood, I'm going to have to paraphrase, private, mutilation. And I'm like, oh, you're one of those kind of extreme, you're an extremist, okay? Because you don't know anything about what I believe. You don't know what I believe in. You don't know how I live my life. You don't know how I raise my children. You don't know me. So, on one hand, I realize it might seem a bit hypocritical because I believe that if you're voting for Trump, then you fall into a certain category or a variety of categories, which are you're either racist, misogynistic, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic. So the reason why I'm saying that is because if you're not those things, you would be so disgusted and turned off by those talking points that hit those isms that you would not be able to bring yourself in any good conscience to vote for that. You wouldn't be able to gaslight yourself out of that. So J.D. Vance said, wait, I need to find out who was actually interviewing him.
I've seen that very personally in my own family, and I think it's something that is broken about our country.
Let me zoom out a little bit.
Please.
You're calling it a sarcastic comment.
Sure.
And yet, some women, and you got the feedback in real time, felt like it was a gut punch to them personally. Do you regret making that comment?
Look, I regret certainly that a lot of people took it the wrong way.
Look, I regret certainly that a lot of people took it the wrong way.
Look, I regret certainly that a lot of people took it the wrong way.
I regret that the DNC and Kamala Harris lied about it.
But do you regret what you said, Senator?
Look, Kristen, I'm going to say things from time
At a time that people disagree with. I'm a real person. I'm going to make jokes. I'm going to say things sarcastically. And I think that what's important is that we focus on the policy. There's certainly going to be things that I say. If I'm elected vice president, people are going to say, well, I wish you had said that differently. I think it's most important to actually be the person I actually am and to say those sarcastic comments were made in the service of a real substantive point. This country has become too anti-family. It's too expensive to afford a house. It's too expensive to afford.
They were offended. They were hurt by those comments. Do you wish you never made those childless cat lady comments?
I think that it's much more important for me to just be a normal human being who sometimes says
So
things
no
that people
regrets.
disagree with. I have a lot of regrets, Kristen, but making a joke 3 years ago is not at the top 10.
When an apology sounds like, I'm sorry you took it the wrong way,
Deflecting responsibility. Speaker A be trying to deflect blame to the other person. This can be done in a hostile or sarcastic tone, and may be followed by something like, "But it's really your fault."
Gaslighting apology may seem sincere, but the speaker isn't actually taking responsibility.
Dismissing feelings. The speaker may be dismissing the other person's emotions by saying things like, "You're taking it all wrong."
catlovedreamingpeach.com.
I regret certainly that a lot of people took it the wrong way.
I regret certainly that a lot of people took it the wrong way.
This country, via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children.
While Vice President Harris does not have biological children, she is a stepmother. Her husband's ex-wife defended Harris by telling CNN, quote, "For over 10 years since Cole and Ella were teenagers, Kamala has been a co-parent with Doug and I. She is loving, nurturing, fiercely protective, and always present." Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg called the comments hurtful, saying he and his husband were facing a difficult adoption process at the time. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, who has been floated as a potential VP pick, also responded.
It's a ridiculous thing to say about someone. You know, it's obnoxious, it's rude, it's also not surprising. What about
Now, childless cat lady posed.
JD Vance saying, I regret that people took it the wrong way, is the ultimate gaslighting response. It's when somebody hurts your feelings or offends you, and you tell them, hey, that offended me, that hurt my feelings, that upset me, I didn't find that funny. And they reply to you, well, I'm sorry you got offended. I'm sorry that you took it the wrong way. Instead of, I'm sorry I offended you. I'm sorry I said something that was really insensitive. I'm sorry that I said something that I thought was funny and sarcastic. But then when you actually listen back to what he actually said, he wasn't joking, and he certainly wasn't trying to be funny, and he didn't sound sarcastic at all. In fact, he sounded completely certain of what he was saying. So, but that wasn't the point of why I was making this video. The point that I was making this video was to say that, I need my drink. It says fortune teller, and then the inside says, whoops, I put a spell on you. Back to the point. The point is, I was talking about that person who was commenting on my video, and then she said, one thing she said was that I'm brainwashed. Then another thing she said was that I have too much time on my hands and that I should go read JD Vance's book. Oh my God, it is so pathetic. Oh, and then this person is trying to use my own community guidelines for commenting, and she's trying to spin it against me, you're saying hate speech. Okay, so there was one comment where I don't know if it was the PDF file comment or something else, and I'm like, it's just so outlandish. I'm not saying the comment, I'm just speaking freely. It's so outlandish that these people actually are walking around as adults out here driving cars, working at jobs, making decisions, possibly, assuming, and like raising children. These people could be teaching your children in schools. Some of these people are medical professionals. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about people who are living in a total delusion. It's like brain fog. It's just an alternate reality. That's what it is. And I understand wanting to live in an alternate reality. It's so beautiful. You can even take on like a whole different persona in a way when you live in a fantasy world. I mean, alternate realities can be fun, but we don't want that in the White House. And yes, Democrats actually are patriotic. I'm not a nationalist, but I do love my country. I don't want it to go to hell. I don't want evil to win. And I do believe that that's evil. It's evil to put people down because of their gender, because of their race, because of their ethnicity, because of their culture, because of the color of their skin, because of their religion. But their actions and their beliefs, that is what we should be judging people on, and who they follow and support. Yes, I do believe that. So what I believe is that we need hope. That looks bizarre. Look, it's a peach sunny heart. So I believe that civil rights for everyone is the right thing to do, and being a welcoming place where, yes, people follow the law and people do the things they're supposed to do. They don't commit crimes and do terrible things. And that should start with the president and the vice president. And being truthful should count for something. And the fact that people who support MAGA don't care about facts, they don't care about truth, they don't care about law and order, they don't care about rights for all. They only want a small-minded worldview that only benefits a very small amount of people, and then turn around and say, we're brainwashed? Well, the video is about to end. I'll share. So the video cut out, but I wanted to just add that the reason why supporting trans rights does not equate to is because linking one with the other is a complete extreme MAGA talking point. And it's not based on reality. It's not based on actual gender affirming care. And I have my own personal issues with pharmaceuticals and surgery. And I, in general, am anti-pharmaceutical and anti-surgery in most cases. And I have to jump in to interject. And I mean in most cases in the medical world, period. I don't mean with transgender cases. I mean most people who are getting surgeries for anything, whether it's cosmetic surgery or even many medical surgeries, can be avoided if people would change their diet, change their lifestyle. A lot of chronic diseases and illnesses and aches and pains are caused by food, what you're eating. And I deeply believe that. I've been vegan for 15 years and I was vegetarian for many, many, many years before that. So again, assuming that you know what somebody believes in and how they live their life is a reach, but if you look at the policies and the words and the actions and the the behaviors of the person that you're supporting or other people are supporting, you can, like that lady commented something about, I'm making a lot of assumptions. And I said, that's true. I'm assuming that you know who the person you're voting for is, and you know what they've done, and you know what they stand for, and you know what they've said. And that is making a lot of assumptions. That is. And it's also making the assumptions that hearing what that person said, knowing what they've done, seeing how they behave, would make you decide that you agree with what I feel, that they're unhinged, that they're all of these isms I've already said, and someone that should be in prison. But the fact is that some people hear his words and they're like, yep, that's my man, and I'm going to stick by him. I'm aligned with that. You're aligned with that. So anyway, back to what I was saying about my beliefs, because of my own personal experiences in the allopathic world of medicine and surgeries and pharmaceuticals. And I don't find that to be healthy or helpful in many cases. Of course, there's a lot of people who are helped by medical procedures and technology. So I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying that many times we can change our diet and our lifestyle and do some psychological, emotional healing, trauma healing, and that can help our body heal in many ways, because a lot of ailments are just an extreme symptom of an unhealed, unseen wound. So back to the video. But I also know and respect and understand that surgery and medication saves lives. And so it's not black and white. And that's the issue that I have with cults. Whether you're MAGA or Scientology or any fundamental religion or belief system where you believe that your beliefs are the only way to live. And like Governor Walz, soon to be vice president, says, I may not make those choices that you made, that the neighbor made, but I know how to mind my own damn business. And that's what these cult people don't understand. You want to take the most extreme version of a situation and then try to make that a wide brushstroke as if that encapsulates everything. So if you go from trans rights equates to, that's an extreme cult-like perspective, because you simply cannot have a conversation with somebody like that. And the same is true for the border. The same is true for, legal versus illegal immigration. The same is true for women's rights, human rights, and all of the isms and all of, basically everybody deserves rights and health care and education and child care and on and on and on. But you can't discuss it with somebody who's in a cult who only has these extreme talking points to come at you with, to try to discredit you, try to make you to make you feel unsettled, to shock you. It's like a shock value argument. Like, you can take a man, a football coach, a 24-year vet, a governor, who was a congressman. Oh, and he was a teacher and a football coach, which is how it all started. And then his kids, his students, encouraged him to run for Congress because they thought he was so amazing. This is the man that now people are trying to twist all his good deeds, all his years of service, all his incredible help and can turn it into something disgusting and vile. But yet you can take the disgusting, vile acts of rump. You take the disgusting, vile acts of the orange one and you try to squeeze it into some orange juice. You try to twist it into something positive. And then you take the positive actions of Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz, soon to be President and Vice President of the United States of America, and try to twist it into something bad and evil. It's like the ultimate opposite game, the ultimate mind, the ultimate like brainwashing. One side is taking facts and looking at it factually and then making discerning decisions, and the other side is taking facts and twisting it into Kool-Aid, and then taking the other facts and twisting it into poison. You guys gotta learn how to mind your own damn business and care about what matters, which is allowing everybody to have rights. And I say allow. It's not really yours to allow or take away. So either get with the program of where the world is moving towards rights and join in, or you'll just be left behind in the neo-Nazi dust. And you're going to take this man's service and years of dedication towards helping children. Why did he start to care about LGBTQ rights? Because he saw children who were suffering and being bullied and needed somebody to help them. And so he said, I'll step in and I'll be somebody who will help. I'll be a role model that will show other children who might be hiding in the shadows of shame and fear and humiliation that it's okay. It's okay to be you. You deserve rights too. And then you want to take that and twist it into one of the most extreme, horrific, horrendous things that you could imagine happening. That does happen. It does happen. Did you get your kid circumcised? Most likely you did, because you thought it was totally normal. Do you consider that the thing that you're talking about? I do. I don't need to tell you what I did or didn't do or what I would or wouldn't do, but I don't agree with those things. So the point is that you can take something that, so when I was having my baby and I looked at things and I said, oh, whoa, if you do this thing to a girl, they call it, and it's an outrage and it's disgusting and it's wrong and it's horrible and it's evil, and I agree with that. But yet in this country where I live, if you do that same thing to a boy, it's completely normal. It's normalized. In fact, if you don't do it, it's bizarre. Well, I chose not to do it because I need my children. But does that mean that I don't believe in rights for all people? No. Again, just because I wouldn't do the thing doesn't mean that I therefore believe that what I would do or what I wouldn't do is how everybody else should live their lives. Just like when it comes to pharmaceutical injections and interventions, I don't do it anymore. I lived many years and I suffered through it, and every part of those things made me worse and worse and worse. Now I have my own way of living, my own way of eating. I'm vegan. I've been vegan for 15 years, and I follow homeopathic medicine and acupuncture and natural remedies and things like that. But I don't believe that it's my place to tell other people what they should do or shouldn't do. That's the whole point. Recognizing that other people live differently and it's their right to live how they want to live. And even this country literally was built on and colonizing and destroying the indigenous people and their way of life and their culture and their language and literally everything about them by what? A whole bunch of illegal aliens. A whole bunch of crooks. A whole bunch of murderers and rapists. And all those things that Donald Trump wants to call people who just are looking for a better life. Usually it's just people, regular people, trying to live their lives. And those regular people could be enriching your life if you weren't so close-minded and small pea-brained. And again, it's mighty interesting that when you speak the truth to certain people, like cultists, they will turn around, they will twist it and say, you're speaking hate. I'm not speaking hate. I'm just literally saying what he said, what you said. I am repeating back to you your own words or the words of the person that you support, but you recognize it as hate. But you, like, honey pie, you need to look in the mirror. You're not my honey pie. Ugh, yuck. So sad. You're probably grown. You know, it's really, really sad. And it's also, it's like I said in a comment, it would be funny if it wasn't so tragic. And I would totally ignore it if it wasn't for the fact that it's really important that our democracy is safe. And I believe that there's going to be a landslide for Kamala and Walz, and they're going to win. And that Donald Trump and his cronies and his goonies and all, they are going to, of course, scream that it's rigged and it's all fake. And he's probably going to go down in an orange jumpsuit on his way, screaming like a lunatic, the lunatic that he is. And he's going to say, it's not possible. Yeah? Everybody's going to come out from the rocks that they're living under, I believe, to vote for her. Because, except for the handful of lunatics. And it's like, have you not been listening to this man? I have been listening to this man every day. And every day he gets more and more unhinged. And it's insane that people vote for him, will vote for him. Unbelievable. Pathetic. Shameful. Embarrassing. It's actually despicable that you would vote for a criminal who's harmed women countless times and harmed regular people and harmed people of color, and just he's just a sore, like an actual blight on humanity. And you want to vote for that. What a creep. What a cretin. See, I think it should be a fair system where the Republicans have a legitimate candidate, somebody who is respectable and reasonable and intelligent and not an absolute warmongering phobia walking around. It's just, you know, it's like it's one thing to be nice, but it's another thing to be honest. And when you see a rat or a snake, no offense to them, saying, hey, that's a rat over there, that's a snake over there, that's not hate speech. That's not going against community guidelines. I'm calling you out for what you are. You're a cult follower who doesn't care what this man says. Any outrageous insanity and you are okay with it? Yikes. Yee. Woo! Mind-boggling. Utterly mind-boggling. Hello, my lovely peaches. It's the next day, and I'm going to open my curtain, and I'm just going to pop in to say here that after I made that video, which you just saw if you watched the first part here, I did some research about what statements has Donald Trump made. So he has made many, 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 many statements over the years. And they were lies. They were untruths. They were misleading, misogynistic, homophobic, Islamophobic, racist, xenophobic, transphobic, othering, and they're untrue and they're unsafe. They're dangerous. So the rest of this video is an hour, and it is an audio voice, Davis, speaking, reading the compiled list of quotes that Donald Trump has said, or statements that he's made, when he made them, where he made them, what the truth of the statement really is, why it's dangerous, and how much of a liar this man really truly is. And he is a liar. That is proven beyond any reasonable doubt, beyond any shadow of a doubt. So you can listen to this in your car while you're driving. You can put this on while you're doing your dishes or your laundry or you're folding or you're cooking or you're just working. Whatever it is, I think that this is important. And last night when I said, let me find a few quotes that this man has said, I had no idea that it was going to turn into an hour-long saga. But here it is. And actually, there are some sections where I jump because as I was screen recording it, some of it did get repeated because I went back to clarify further details, and I also wanted to make it as current as possible. So some of the quotes are older, and then they get more current as it goes down. So I don't want to say enjoy because it's really stomach churning stuff, or as Mike Pence said, that's rubber room stuff. So take a listen, and hopefully this will help a few people who don't realize how evil he is to realize how evil he is. And then those of you who already know that but are dealing with loved ones that are caught in the cult, maybe this will help you. At the bare minimum, if it doesn't help change the minds of those who are already in the cult, because it likely won't, because when you're in a cult, there's nothing that will make you change your mind until you're ready. So every single fact brought out, I could have screen recorded, which would have taken forever. But if I had actually gone through and screen recorded videos of him saying these things instead of it just being text, the people who are brainwashed into believing in him, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you saw a video with your own eyes and ears of him saying these words. If you apologize for him, or even worse, approve him and endorse him, and even worse, you will vote. You will vote? You will put your name in the hat for this guy? Shocking. So, take a listen.
When did E Jean Carroll first accuse Donald Trump? Date: E Jean Carroll first publicly accused Donald Trump in June 2019. What were the charges that she brought against him? Charges: Carroll brought a civil lawsuit against Trump in November 2019 for defamation. She alleged that Trump defamed her by denying her accusations of sexual assault and calling her a liar. What was the outcome? In May 2023, a jury found Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming Carroll, awarding her $5 million in damages. How was their decision reached? The jury, after considering the evidence presented, concluded that Trump sexually abused Carroll in the 1990s and later defamed her by publicly denying the assault. When did E Jean Carroll sue Donald Trump a second time? Date: E Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump a second time in November 2022 under New York's Adult Survivors Act. What were the charges that she brought against him? Charges: the second lawsuit included charges of sexual battery and additional claims of defamation related to Trump's remarks after the first lawsuit was filed. What was the outcome? In May 2023, the jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation in this case as well, awarding Carroll an additional $5 million in damages. How was their decision reached? The jury determined that Trump's actions met the legal standards for sexual abuse and defamation based on the evidence and testimony provided. What evidence was presented? The evidence included E. Jean Carroll's testimony, corroborating accounts from friends who she confided in at the time of the alleged assault, Trump's public statements, and the infamous Access Hollywood tape. The jury also considered Trump's deposition where he denied the allegations. The addition of the additional charges in E. Jean Carroll's second lawsuit was made possible by New York's Adult Survivors Act, ASA. Here's a detailed explanation of how this legislation facilitated the new lawsuit. New York's Adult Survivors Act, ASA. 1. Overview of the ASA. The Adult Survivors Act, which took effect on November 24, 2022, created a one-year window for survivors of sexual abuse who were previously barred by the statute of limitations to file civil lawsuits. This law allowed individuals who had been sexually assaulted to pursue legal action regardless of when the abuse occurred, provided the abuse happened before the law's enactment. 2. E. Jean Carroll's use of the ASA. Timing: E. Jean Carroll filed her second lawsuit on August 5, 2023, well within the one-year window provided by the ASA. Claims: the second lawsuit focused on sexual battery and included allegations that Trump raped Carroll in the mid-1990s. This was a new claim under the ASA, which was not part of her initial 2022 lawsuit. 3. Legal basis for the second lawsuit. New legal opportunity: the ASA provided Carroll with the opportunity to bring forward claims that were previously barred by the statute of limitations. This included adding new allegations of sexual battery that could not have been pursued in her earlier lawsuit. Broader scope: the ASA allowed survivors like Carroll to pursue claims of sexual violence that extended beyond the narrow definitions and time constraints of previous laws. 4. Impact on the case. Expanded claims: Carroll was able to include the sexual battery claim in her second lawsuit, which was not part of her initial defamation and emotional distress lawsuit. Legal strategy: the second lawsuit under the ASA leveraged the new legal framework to address the broader context of her allegations and seek additional remedies. Summary: the Adult Survivors Act was instrumental in enabling E. Jean Carroll to pursue additional legal action against Donald Trump by providing a temporary exception to the statute of limitations for sexual abuse cases. This allowed her to file a second lawsuit that included charges of sexual battery and rape that were not part of her original 2022 lawsuit. Judge says E. Jean Carroll allegation Trump raped her is substantially true in court dismissal. Donald Trump suffered another legal reversal on Monday, losing his counterclaim for defamation against E. Jean Carroll, the writer against whom he was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation and fined $5 million, and who continues to pursue a separate defamation case against him. Dismissing the counterclaim, a judge in New York, Louis A. Kaplan, said that when Carroll repeated her allegation that Trump raped her, her words were substantially true. Kaplan also set out in detail why it may be said that Trump raped Carroll. The former president, 77, already faces 78 criminal indictments for election subversion, retention of classified documents, and hush money payments to a porn star. Expected to be indicted for election subversion in Georgia, he also faces investigations of his business practices. Nonetheless, he enjoys huge leads in polling regarding the Republican presidential nomination. Carroll first said Trump assaulted her in a changing room of a New York department store in the mid-1990s in a book in 2019. The allegation joined a host from other women who said Trump assaulted them during his career in real estate and entertainment before entering politics. Based on remarks made while he denied her claim, Carroll sued Trump in federal court for defamation. She also sued in New York State for defamation and sexual battery under a law giving survivors of past assaults a one-year window to act. The federal case continues, with Carroll seeking $10 million. In May, the New York case was decided in favor of Carroll. After that ruling, she and her lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, gave interviews. Trump's counterclaim centered on comments in which Carroll said Trump raped her. "Oh yes he did, oh yes he did," she told CNN. Carroll also said she had told a Trump lawyer, "He did it and you know it." Trump denies assaulting Carroll, whom he called a whack job, in his own remarks to CNN after the New York verdict, prompting Carroll to increase her damages claim. In his counterclaim, Trump said Carroll made these statements knowing each of them were false or with reckless disregard for their truth or falsity. Dismissing the counterclaim, Judge Kaplan provided an unsparing analysis of the legal issues that informed the New York verdict. He wrote, "The only issue on which the jury did not find in Ms. Carroll's favor was whether she proved that Mr. Trump raped her within the narrow, technical meaning of that term in the New York penal law. The jury was instructed that it could find that Mr. Trump raped Ms. Carroll only if it found that he forcibly penetrated Ms. Carroll's vagina with his penis." Skip past newsletter promotion. After newsletter promotion, it could not find that he raped her if it determined that Mr. Trump forcibly penetrated Ms. Carroll's private sexual parts with his fingers, which commonly is considered rape in other contexts, because the New York penal law definition of rape is limited to penile penetration. Kaplan had already outlined why it was not defamation for Carroll to say Trump raped her. As the court explained in its recent decision denying Mr. Trump's motion for a new trial on damages and other relief in the New York case, based on all of the evidence at trial and the jury's verdict as a whole, the jury's finding that Mr. Trump sexually abused Ms. Carroll implicitly determined that he forcibly penetrated her digitally, in other words, that Mr. Trump in fact did rape Ms. Carroll, as that term commonly is used and understood in contexts outside of the New York penal law. Kaplan also struck some of Trump's defenses, including that he had absolute presidential immunity for remarks made while in office, and that Carroll was ineligible for punitive damages. Trial in the federal case is scheduled for January 15th, close to the start of the Republican primary, as well as other court cases in which Trump is embroiled. Roberta Kaplan, Carroll's lawyer, said she was pleased with Judge Kaplan's decision and predicted the January trial shouldn't take very long to complete. Alina Habba, a lawyer for Trump, said, "We strongly disagree with the flawed decision and will be filing an appeal shortly." Reuters contributed reporting. Information and support for anyone affected by rape or sexual abuse issues is available from the following organizations. In the U.S., RAINN offers support on 800-656-4673. In the UK, Rape Crisis offers support on 0808-500-2222. In Australia, support is available at 1800 Respect 1800-737-732. Other international helplines can be found at ibiblio.org/internal.html.
Okay, guys. So not only did they strike my video, I now have a community guideline for sexual harassment because I posted things that were literally Trump speaking. He said things that were this, but the video got struck down and now I have a community guideline strike. Also, the other video got silenced because apparently his racist, xenophobic ranting about his plans to start massive deportation at noon on Inauguration Day is copywritten xenophobia. How about that? So now I have a warning because I'm trying to share information about a criminal. Wow, what a double standard. What a twisted world we live in. Like Dinner Pancake says, these platforms are not meant for sharing truths. So what I'm going to do now is upload the videos that I had striked off of here onto my YouTube channel, and I'm going to see about sharing them there. Hopefully I won't get another strike, but I do have my website, which is Cat Love Dreaming Peach, and I've got my YouTube channel, which is Cat Love Dreaming Peach, and I have Instagram as well, although I kind of rarely post to that, but YouTube and Patreon are the main places to reach me, and of course my website. So it's catlovedreamingpeach.com, and from there you can find all my links. So If you want to see the videos that got struck down, then come over to YouTube and you can see them there. Okay. So this is just showing how the video was struck down, what they claim the violation is, and now I have a warning on my account. Even though I appealed it, I was denied, and they're basically accusing me of doing the things because Donald Trump said stuff that was super offensive, and so I got the strike because I was trying to educate people about the truth about this guy.
Case summary. 1. Initial lawsuit. Filed, November 24, 2022. Charges, defamation and emotional distress. Outcome, the jury found Trump liable for defamation and emotional distress. They did not make a specific finding of under New York's legal definition, but the verdict supported Carroll's broader claims of bleep out. Monetary awards. Carroll was awarded $7.3 million in emotional damages, $11 million in reputation-related damages, and $65 million in punitive damages, totaling $83.3 million. Court, United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. Judge, Louis A. Kaplan. Lawyers. E. Jean Carroll's lawyers, Roberta Kaplan, lead attorney, Sharon J. Bowers, co-counsel. Donald Trump's lawyers, Joseph Tacopina, lead attorney, Alina Habba, co-counsel. Post-outcome actions, Trump expressed dissatisfaction and appealed the decision. 2. Second lawsuit. Filed, August 5, 2023, under the Adult Survivors Act. Charges, bleep out, including allegations of grape. Outcome, the jury found Trump liable for bleep out, including actions meeting the broader understanding of grape. Judge Louis A. Kaplan affirmed that Carroll's allegation of grape was substantially true in the context of the case. Monetary awards. Carroll was awarded $7.3 million in emotional damages, $11 million in reputation-related damages, and $65 million in punitive damages, totaling $83.3 million. Court, New York State Court. Judge, Louis A. Kaplan. Lawyers. E. Jean Carroll's lawyers, Roberta Kaplan, lead attorney, Sharon J. Bowers, co-counsel. Donald Trump's lawyers, Joseph Tacopina, lead attorney, Alina Habba, co-counsel. Post-outcome actions, Trump indicated his intention to appeal the verdict. 3. Judge's comments. Statements on grape. Judge Kaplan stated that Carroll's allegation of grape was substantially true in the broader context. This supported the jury's finding of bleep out, which encompassed actions described by Carroll as meeting the broader understanding of grape. Even though the jury's verdict was based on bleep out charges. 4. Appeals and financial aspects. Appeals. Trump has continued to appeal both the initial and second lawsuit outcomes. Monetary payments. The exact amount Trump paid to hold the awarded funds in court for appeal purposes is not publicly detailed but would be significant. Delay in payment. Carroll will likely face delays in receiving the awarded damages due to the ongoing appeals process, which can take several months to years. 5. E. Jean Carroll's age. As of August 2024, E. Jean Carroll is 80 years old, born December 12, 1943. 6. Case status. The legal process is ongoing with appeals from Trump. Carroll's awards are subject to delay due to the appeals process.
Legal. Litigation. Donald Trump. Donald Trump posts $91.6 million bond for E. Jean Carroll's defamation verdict. By Jonathan Stemple and Alexandra Ulmer. March 8, 2024 at 6:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, updated 5 months ago. New York, March 8, Reuters. Donald Trump on Friday posted a $91.6 million bond to cover the defamation verdict in favor of writer E. Jean Carroll, and began his appeal of the case that arose from his branding her a liar after she accused him of raping her decades ago. The bond from Federal Insurance Co., part of the insurer Chubb, would cover Carroll's $83.3 million judgment if Trump were to lose his appeal of the January 26 verdict and refuse to pay. The posting of a bond also means Carroll, 80, wouldn't collect on the judgment during the appeals process, which could take years. The appeal stemmed from a Manhattan jury's conclusion that Trump had defamed Carroll, a former Elle magazine columnist, in June 2019 by denying that he raped her in the mid-1990s in a Bergdorf Goodman department store dressing room in Manhattan. Trump faced a March 11 deadline to obtain the bond or set aside cash for the judgment after the trial judge, U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan, refused his bid for a temporary reprieve. Kaplan on Friday gave Carroll and her lawyers until March 11 to register any objections to the bond. Trump previously argued he shouldn't have to post any security because Carroll was sufficiently protected, but Carroll said this boiled down to Trump saying, "Trust me." Lawyers for Trump and Carroll did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Trump is the Republican candidate for this November's presidential election and faces an expected rematch against Democratic incumbent Joe Biden, who beat him in 2020. Stephen Chun, a spokesman for Trump's presidential campaign, said Trump posted the bond even though the judgment was baseless and part of a Democratic-backed witch hunt. Liquid assets. It wasn't clear what assets Trump was forced to pledge to secure the bond. Neil Peterson, who owns Peterson & Sons surety bond agency in New York and is not involved in the case, said Trump almost certainly put up liquid assets as collateral. Republican presidential candidate and former U.S. President Donald Trump holds rally in Richmond. Item 1 of 2 Republican presidential candidate and former U.S. President Donald Trump reacts on stage during a campaign rally in Richmond, Virginia, U.S. March 2, 2024. Reuters J. Paul file photo. 1-2 Republican presidential candidate and former U.S. President Donald Trump reacts on stage during a campaign rally in Richmond, Virginia, U.S. March 2, 2024. Reuters J. Paul file photo purchase licensing rights, opens new tab. The uncertainty of whether Trump will be elected in 2024 is reason enough to require liquid collateral to secure the bond. Because no surety has had to enforce an indemnification agreement against a president, he said. Trump's bond reflects the trial court's usual practice that bonds equal 110% of judgments. It resolves for now one issue arising from his legal travails, though he still faces a financial squeeze. Trump still has to post sufficient security for his expected appeal of last month's $454.2 million verdict in a civil fraud case brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. His lawyers have offered to post a $100 million bond and called it impossible to post a bond for the full amount, which James is seeking. Trump also faces 4 criminal indictments. These include charges he falsified business records to conceal hush money paid to porn star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election that gave him the presidency. A trial is scheduled for March 25. Wanted to defend myself. In Carroll's case, jurors awarded her $18.3 million of compensatory damages, including $7.3 million for emotional harm and $11 million for harm to her reputation. They also awarded her $65 million of punitive damages. Trump has said he shouldn't owe anything, and alternatively that both sums should be reduced substantially. In seeking a new trial, lawyers for Trump said the verdict was tainted by Kaplan's decision to strike Trump's testimony about his state of mind when he disparaged Carroll. According to the lawyers, Trump's statement that "I just wanted to defend myself, my family, and, frankly, the presidency" was relevant to whether he had acted maliciously. And that excluding it all but assured a big punitive damages award. The lawyers also said Kaplan erred in instructing jurors about the burden of proof needed to show malice. Last May, a different jury ordered Trump to pay Carroll $5 million over a similar October 2022 denial, finding he had defamed and sexually abused her. Trump is appealing that decision and set aside $5.55 million with the Manhattan court for that process. Jumpstart your morning with the latest legal news delivered straight to your inbox from the Daily Docket newsletter. Sign up here. Reporting by Alexandra Ulmer in San Francisco and Jonathan Stemple in New York. Editing by Jonathan Otis and Peter Graff. Our standards, the Thomson Reuters Trust Principles, opens new tab. Purchase licensing rights. Alexandra Ulmer. Thomson Reuters. Alexandra covers the 2024 U.S. presidential race, with a focus on Republicans, donors, and AI. Previously, she spent 4 years in Venezuela reporting on the humanitarian crisis and investigating corruption. She has also worked in India, Chile, and Argentina. Alexandra was Reuters Reporter of the Year and has won an Overseas Press Club award.
So that was the overview of the cases that he lost against E Jean Carroll and how he has been found legally liable for raping her. And he's had to pay $91.6 million to date, and he's hoping to appeal it, but I don't believe that the appeal will win. Then there are other cases, as you've heard, a multitude of other cases in a multitude of other places. So the rest of this video is going to be about an hour of statements that Donald Trump has made, when and where he said it, the truth about that statement, and then the danger of that statement, and also how that statement aligns with Project 2025, which he claims to not know about nor be aligned with, but yet, as you will learn, he has said countless statements that align with that project.
Statement: we have to win this election. Most important election ever. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote. Just this time you won't have to do it anymore. For more years, you know what? It'll be fixed, it'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out, you got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed. So good you're not going to have to vote. Trump was speaking at an event organized by the conservative group Turning Point Action in West Palm Beach, Florida, July 28, 2024. It was not clear what the former president meant by his remarks in an election campaign where his Democratic opponents accuse him of being a threat to democracy. And after his attempt to overturn his 2020 defeat to President Joe Biden, an effort that led to the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Project 2025 alignment reflects an approach to consolidating power and simplifying processes, potentially undermining democratic norms. Truth: democracy requires ongoing participation and oversight. Suggesting otherwise undermines democratic principles. Harvard Law Review. Danger: eroding the necessity of regular voting and civic engagement can disenfranchise voters and weaken democratic institutions. Trump's misleading aspect: this statement falsely simplifies the voting process and undermines the importance of continual democratic participation. Statement: I'm going to be a dictator on day one. I'm going to use the powers of the presidency to get things done, Donald Trump reportedly said in various discussions, context and exact date unclear. Project 2025 alignment resonates with Project 2025's vision of enhanced executive authority and centralized control. Truth: the presidency is not a dictatorship. The Constitution establishes checks and balances to prevent such abuses of power. Constitutional Accountability Center. Danger: attempting to centralize power in the presidency threatens democratic governance and could lead to authoritarianism. Trump's misleading aspect: Trump's statement implies a willingness to bypass constitutional limits on executive power, endangering democratic norms. Judicial appointments. Statement: I'm very proud of my appointments to the Supreme Court. The judges I've nominated are some of the most conservative and qualified people in the country. Donald Trump, October 2020, debate with Joe Biden. Project 2025 alignment supports Project 2025's aim of reshaping the judiciary to align with conservative principles. Truth: judicial appointments should prioritize impartiality and qualifications, not just ideological alignment. The Brennan Center for Justice. Danger: appointing judges based solely on ideology can compromise the judiciary's independence and fairness. Trump's misleading aspect: Trump's focus on ideology over impartiality undermines the judiciary's role as an unbiased arbiter of the law. Statement: my judges are going to restore the Constitution and ensure that we have a government that respects the rule of law. Donald Trump, January 2019, interview with the Wall Street Journal. Project 2025 alignment reflects the initiative's goal to influence judicial interpretations to support conservative policies. Truth: restoring the Constitution involves balanced interpretations that respect its principles, not solely conservative viewpoints. National Constitution Center. Danger: shaping the judiciary to fit a specific agenda can undermine legal neutrality and affect justice for all citizens. Trump's misleading aspect: the focus on conservative interpretations can distort constitutional principles, impacting fairness and justice. Deregulation. Statement: I've signed more legislation eliminating job-killing regulations than any other president. We're cutting red tape and opening up the economy. Donald Trump, December 2019, rally in Michigan. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's objective to reduce federal regulations and promote business-friendly policies. Truth: some regulations are crucial for protecting health, safety, and the environment. Their removal can have serious negative effects. Environmental Defense Fund. Danger: deregulation can lead to increased environmental damage, health risks, and exploitation of workers. Trump's misleading aspect: Trump's claim ignores the essential role of regulations in safeguarding public and environmental health. Statement: we are rolling back regulations that hurt businesses and hinder economic growth. It's been one of my top priorities. Donald Trump, July 2020, interview with Fox Business. Project 2025 alignment, consistent with Project 2025's emphasis on deregulation to enhance economic growth. Truth: reducing regulations without considering their protective functions can lead to adverse impacts on society and the environment. The Atlantic. Danger: rolling back regulations can have severe repercussions for public welfare and environmental sustainability. Trump's misleading aspect: the emphasis on economic growth overlooks the potential harm from removing critical regulations. Energy independence. Statement: we're going to achieve energy independence. We're going to produce more oil and gas, and we're going to lift the restrictions on our energy industry. Donald Trump, April 2018, speech at the White House. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's focus on boosting fossil fuel production and reducing environmental regulations. Truth: increased fossil fuel production contributes significantly to climate change and environmental degradation. Union of Concerned Scientists. Danger: prioritizing fossil fuels over renewable energy can exacerbate climate change and environmental harm. Trump's misleading aspect: Trump's focus on fossil fuel production disregards the long-term environmental costs and the urgent need for renewable energy solutions. Statement: my administration is unleashing American energy production. We're drilling more, and we're making America energy independent. Donald Trump, July 2019, rally in Pennsylvania. Project 2025 alignment supports Project 2025's goal of increasing domestic energy production and reducing reliance on foreign sources. Truth: expanding fossil fuel production undermines efforts to combat climate change and protect the environment. Environmental Protection Agency. Danger: expanding fossil fuel production neglects the need for sustainable energy solutions and increases environmental risks. Trump's misleading aspect: the claim of energy independence fails to address the broader environmental consequences of increased fossil fuel extraction. Government restructuring. Statement: the Department of Education is a waste of money. We should be sending education dollars directly to states and localities. Donald Trump, August 2016, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's aim to reduce federal involvement in education and increase state control. Truth: the Federal Department of Education plays a key role in ensuring educational equity and setting national standards. Education Commission of the States. Danger: reducing federal oversight could lead to unequal educational opportunities and decreased support for disadvantaged students. Trump's misleading aspect: Trump's characterization of the Department of Education ignores its role in ensuring fair and equitable education standards across the country. Statement: I want to see a leaner federal government. We need to cut out the bureaucracy and give more power back to the states. Donald Trump, February 2018, State of the Union Address. Project 2025 alignment aligns with the initiative's focus on reducing federal government size and enhancing state authority. Truth: while reducing bureaucracy may streamline some processes, it can also decrease accountability and effectiveness. The Brookings Institution. Danger: a leaner federal government could undermine critical programs and protections, leading to inconsistent policy implementation. Trump's misleading aspect: the claim of reducing bureaucracy overlooks the potential loss of important federal oversight and services that ensure uniformity and protection. Healthcare and abortion policies. Statement: I'm pro-life, and I'm going to fight for policies that protect the unborn. We need to overturn Roe v. Wade. Donald Trump, January 2019, March for Life speech. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's goal of advancing pro-life policies and overturning Roe v. Wade. Truth: overturning Roe v. Wade would restrict access to safe, legal abortions and negatively impact women's health and rights. Guttmacher Institute. Danger: restricting abortion access could lead to unsafe procedures and undermine women's autonomy and health. Trump's misleading aspect: the focus on overturning Roe v. Wade ignores the broader implications for women's health and rights, presenting a one-sided view of reproductive policy. Foreign state truth, and we're going danger. We will crush truth, danger. Trump's misleading statement: this will create project truth. Tax cuts can provide danger. While tax cuts can stimulate economic activity, they may also increase the national debt and exacerbate income inequality if not balanced with spending cuts or revenue increases. Trump's misleading aspect: the promise of broad economic benefits from tax cuts overlooks potential long-term fiscal challenges and the uneven distribution of benefits. Statement: we're going to bring jobs back to America. We're going to make it easy. Danger: repealing the ACA without an effective replacement could result in healthcare reform. Statement: we're going to repeal and replace Obamacare with something much better. We're going to provide more choices and lower costs. Donald Trump, May 2017, Healthcare Reform Rally. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's goal to dismantle the Affordable Care Act and implement alternative healthcare policies. Truth: repealing the Affordable Care Act without a comprehensive replacement could lead to significant coverage losses and increased healthcare costs for many Americans. Kaiser Family Foundation. Danger: repealing the ACA without an effective replacement could result in reduced health insurance coverage and increased healthcare costs for many individuals. Trump's misleading aspect: the promise of a better replacement fails to provide details on how new policies would address the coverage and cost issues associated with healthcare reform. Electoral integrity. Statement: the election was rigged. There was massive fraud, and we need to investigate it thoroughly. Donald Trump, November 2020, press conference. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's focus on questioning electoral integrity and advocating for more stringent voting regulations. Truth: multiple investigations and audits have found no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election. Department of Justice. Danger: spreading misinformation about election integrity can undermine public trust in the democratic process and lead to attempts to undermine electoral systems. Trump's misleading aspect: claims of widespread fraud are not supported by evidence and can contribute to erosion of faith in democratic institutions and processes. Statement: we need to reform the voting system to prevent fraud and ensure that every vote is counted accurately. Donald Trump, February 2021, speech at PAC. Project 2025 alignment supports Project 2025's call for electoral reforms and changes to voting systems. Truth: election reforms should focus on enhancing security and accessibility without undermining voter confidence or disenfranchising voters. Brennan Center for Justice. Danger: implementing reforms based on unfounded fraud claims can lead to voter suppression and make it more difficult for eligible voters to participate in elections. Trump's misleading aspect: calls for reform based on allegations of fraud that are not substantiated can lead to policies that restrict voting access and undermine democratic engagement. Racist, xenophobic, and misogynistic comments. Statement: Mexican immigrants are bringing crime and drugs to our country. They're rapists and criminals. Donald Trump, June 2015, campaign announcement. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's emphasis on strict immigration policies and targeting specific immigrant groups. Truth: the vast majority of immigrants, including Mexicans, are law-abiding and contribute positively to society. American Immigration Council. Danger: such statements promote xenophobia and reinforce harmful stereotypes, potentially inciting violence and discrimination against immigrant communities. Trump's misleading aspect: the characterization of entire groups as criminals is unsupported by evidence and ignores the positive contributions of immigrants. Statement: I want to ban Muslims from entering the country. We need to keep out people who may be a threat to our security. Donald Trump, December 2015, press conference. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's proposed bans on certain groups based on nationality or religion. Truth: religious tests for immigration are unconstitutional and discriminatory and do not enhance national security. American Civil Liberties Union. Danger, banning individuals based on religion fosters discrimination and alienates minority communities, potentially exacerbating tensions and undermining American values of inclusivity. Trump's misleading aspect, proposals based on religious identity do not effectively address security concerns and violate principles of religious freedom and equality. Statement, there were very fine people on both sides of the Charlottesville protest. Many people were protesting in favor of preserving Confederate statues. Donald Trump, August 2017, press conference. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's potential support for controversial historical preservation and minimizing criticism of extremist elements. Truth, the Charlottesville protest included violent white nationalists, and equating them with counter-protesters undermines the condemnation of hate groups. Southern Poverty Law Center. Danger, equating hate groups with those opposing them can legitimize extremist ideologies and diminish the importance of addressing racial and political violence. Trump's misleading aspect, the statement inaccurately represents the nature of the protest and fails to condemn extremist elements involved. Statement, you can grab them by the pussy. They let you do it. Donald Trump, October 2005, Access Hollywood tape, released in October 2016. Project 2025 alignment. This statement reflects the broader societal issues of misogyny that Project 2025's policies could exacerbate if they focus on undermining gender equality. Truth, the normalization of such statements contributes to a culture of misogyny and harassment. National Organization for Women. Danger, endorsing or minimizing misogynistic behavior can perpetuate harmful attitudes towards women and undermine efforts to address gender inequality and harassment. Trump's misleading aspect, the statement represents a disregard for the seriousness of sexual harassment and objectification, diminishing the impact of such behavior on victims. Statement, Kamala Harris, she's not even American. She's not from here. And she's only here because she's black. Donald Trump, July 2020, remarks at a rally. Project 2025 alignment indicates alignment with Project 2025's potential for promoting divisive and exclusionary rhetoric. Truth, Kamala Harris is a natural-born U.S. citizen and a legally qualified vice president. PolitiFact. Danger, spreading false claims about a public official's eligibility based on race or nationality undermines trust in democratic institutions and fuels racial and political divisions. Trump's misleading aspect, the claim is factually incorrect and racially charged, aimed at delegitimizing a prominent political figure based on prejudice rather than factual grounds. Comments on the Central Park Five. Statement, bring back the death penalty. Bring back our police. Donald Trump, April 1989, New York City newspapers. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's emphasis on harsh criminal justice policies and support for aggressive law enforcement measures. Truth, the Central Park Five were exonerated after serving years for a crime they did not commit, and the case highlights issues with the criminal justice system. The Innocence Project. Danger, advocating for extreme measures like the death penalty in response to a flawed case reinforces systemic issues and may lead to further injustices and wrongful convictions. Trump's misleading aspect, the call for the death penalty in the case of the Central Park Five ignored their wrongful conviction and the need for criminal justice reform. Insulting nicknames and twisting names. Statement, low-energy Jeb, referring to Jeb Bush, former governor of Florida, criticizing his perceived lack of vigor. Donald Trump, 2016, Republican primary debates. Project 2025 alignment demonstrates a pattern of undermining political opponents, which can be a strategy in Project 2025's broader political tactics. Truth, personal attacks and derogatory nicknames can erode civil discourse and distract from substantive policy discussions. Harvard Kennedy School. Danger, using nicknames to belittle opponents can contribute to a polarized political environment and discourage meaningful debate on policy issues. Trump's misleading aspect, the use of derogatory nicknames undermines constructive political dialogue and reduces complex policy discussions to personal attacks. Statement, Little Marco, referring to Senator Marco Rubio, mocking his stature and political presence. Donald Trump, 2016, Republican primary debates. Project 2025 alignment shows a pattern of derogatory tactics against rivals, aligning with Project 2025's potential approach to discredit opposition. Truth, mocking political opponents undermines respectful discourse and fosters a climate of hostility. Brookings Institution. Danger, such tactics can create a hostile political climate and detract from substantive policy discussions, leading to increased divisiveness. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on personal attributes rather than policy positions undermines meaningful debate and promotes divisiveness. Statement, Crooked Hillary, referring to Hillary Clinton, focusing on her email scandal and general criticisms. Donald Trump, 2016, various campaign events. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's likely strategy of attacking opponents' credibility and scandals. Truth, persistent focus on personal scandals rather than policy can distort public perception and overshadow important policy debates. Center for Responsive Politics. Danger, emphasizing personal scandals over policy issues can lead to a skewed perception of candidates and hinder informed voter decision-making. Trump's misleading aspect, concentrating on personal scandals rather than addressing policy matters can mislead voters and detract from substantive political discourse. Statement, Sleepy Joe, referring to Joe Biden, criticizing him for perceived lack of energy and vigor. Donald Trump, 2020, various campaign events. Project 2025 alignment reflects a tactic of undermining political opponents, consistent with Project 2025's approach to managing opposition. Truth, attacks on opponents' personal characteristics rather than policies contribute to a polarized and less constructive political environment. Pew Research Center. Danger, focusing on personal attacks rather than policy can foster a divisive political climate and detract from meaningful discussions on governance. Trump's misleading aspect, derogatory comments about personal attributes can overshadow important policy debates and contribute to a less substantive political discourse. Statement, Pocahontas, referring to Elizabeth Warren, mocking her claims of Native American heritage. Donald Trump, 2018, various campaign events. Project 2025 alignment demonstrates a pattern of using personal attacks to undermine political adversaries, potentially aligning with Project 2025 strategies. Truth, mocking individuals based on their heritage or identity can perpetuate stereotypes and undermine respectful political discourse. American Civil Liberties Union. Danger, using heritage as a point of mockery can perpetuate stereotypes and contribute to a hostile political environment, reducing the focus on substantive policy issues. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on personal heritage rather than addressing policy differences detracts from meaningful political debate and reinforces negative stereotypes. Mass deportation. Statement, we're going to start removing illegal immigrants immediately. We're going to clean up this country. Donald Trump, July 2024, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's goal of aggressive mass deportations and stricter immigration enforcement. Truth, mass deportations can be both costly and logistically challenging, and they often lead to significant disruptions for communities. Center for American Progress. Danger, such policies can lead to widespread fear, family separations, and human rights abuses. They also ignore the economic contributions of immigrants and constrain public resources. Trump's misleading aspect, Trump's portrayal of mass deportation as a straightforward solution overlooks the complex realities and potential human and economic costs associated with such policies. Statement, we will target criminals and gang members who are here illegally and send them packing. Donald Trump, June 2024, rally in Texas. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's emphasis on mass deportations, especially targeting individuals with criminal records. Truth, while focusing on individuals with criminal records is a priority. Broad deportation strategies can also lead to the removal of individuals who may not be involved in criminal activities. American Civil Liberties Union. Danger, this approach risks deporting individuals who are not involved in criminal activities, potentially resulting in injustices and disrupting families. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on targeting criminals ignores the broader implications of mass deportations on innocent individuals and communities. Expanding executive power. Statement, I will bypass Congress and use executive orders to implement my vision. If they don't act, I will. Donald Trump, January 2024, interview with Breitbart. Project 2025 alignment, consistent with Project 2025 strategy of expanding executive authority and bypassing legislative processes. Truth, excessive reliance on executive orders can undermine democratic processes and lead to instability in governance. Brookings Institution. Danger, relying heavily on executive orders can weaken the role of Congress and erode checks and balances, leading to potential abuses of power. Trump's misleading aspect, framing executive orders as a necessary solution, disregards the importance of legislative consensus and oversight in a functioning democracy. Statement, I will take immediate action through executive orders to reverse the current administration's policies. Donald Trump, February 2024, speech at PAC. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's focus on using executive power to enforce conservative policies. Truth, using executive orders to reverse policies can create policy instability and uncertainty. The Washington Post. Danger, rapid changes in policy through executive orders can lead to confusion, disruption, and inconsistency in governance. Trump's misleading aspect, the portrayal of executive orders as a quick fix ignores the long-term effects of policy reversals on stability and governance. Statement, we need to streamline the process. One vote, one time, and we'll fix everything. Donald Trump, November 2024, rally in Pennsylvania. Project 2025 alignment reflects an approach to consolidating power and simplifying processes, potentially undermining democratic norms. Truth, simplifying processes too much can lead to the erosion of democratic checks and balances. Politico. Danger, streamlining processes without adequate checks can undermine democratic principles and lead to concentrated power. Trump's misleading aspect, the promise of simplification overlooks the necessity of robust democratic processes to ensure accountability and representation. Statement, on day one, I will use all presidential powers to push through my agenda. Donald Trump reportedly said in various discussions, January 2024. Project 2025 alignment resonates with Project 2025's vision of enhanced executive authority and centralized control. Truth, using executive powers excessively can centralize authority and diminish the role of other branches of government. The New York Times. Danger, excessive use of executive power can undermine the balance of power among government branches and weaken democratic governance. Trump's misleading aspect, the emphasis on using executive power disregards the importance of maintaining a balanced and accountable government structure. Judicial appointments. Statement, my judicial appointments are reshaping the courts. They're the most qualified, conservative judges we could find. Donald Trump, October 2024, interview with the Wall Street Journal. Project 2025 alignment supports Project 2025's aim of reshaping the judiciary to align with conservative principles. Truth, judicial appointments can significantly impact legal interpretations and judicial independence. The quality and impartiality of judges are crucial for a fair judiciary. The Atlantic. Danger, appointing judges with a strong ideological bias can undermine the impartiality of the judiciary and affect the fairness of legal proceedings. Trump's misleading aspect, emphasizing the qualification of judges while ignoring their ideological leanings, can misrepresent the potential impact on judicial independence. Statement, my judges will restore the rule of law and uphold the Constitution. Donald Trump, January 2024, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment reflects the initiative's goal to influence judicial interpretations to support conservative policies. Truth, restoring the rule of law requires impartial and independent judges, not just those who align with specific ideological views. Reuters. Danger, appointing ideologically driven judges risks compromising the impartiality of the judiciary and undermining trust in the legal system. Trump's misleading aspect, the claim of restoring the rule of law can be misleading if it prioritizes ideological alignment over judicial impartiality and fairness. Deregulation. Statement, we're cutting red tape like never before. It's unleashing business growth. Donald Trump, December 2024, rally in Michigan. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's objective to reduce federal regulations and promote business-friendly policies. Truth, while deregulation can benefit businesses, it also poses risks if it leads to inadequate protections for health, safety, and the environment. The New York Times. Danger, excessive deregulation can lead to diminished protections for public health and safety, and environmental degradation. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on deregulation as purely beneficial overlooks potential negative consequences for public welfare and environmental standards. Statement, we're rolling back job-killing regulations. It's a top priority for my administration. Donald Trump, July 2024, interview with Fox Business. Project 2025 alignment, consistent with Project 2025's emphasis on deregulation to enhance economic growth. Truth, regulations often balance business interests with public protection. Rolling them back without careful consideration can lead to negative outcomes. Bloomberg. Danger, unchecked deregulation can undermine important protections and lead to adverse effects on health, safety, and the environment. Trump's misleading aspect, the characterization of regulations as job-killing can Danger, expanding fossil fuel production can lead to environmental degradation and increased greenhouse gas emissions. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on energy expansion through fossil fuels neglects the environmental and climate consequences associated with such policies. Education and school choice. Statement, we need to give parents more control over their children's education. School choice is the way forward. Donald Trump, March 2024, Education Summit. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's emphasis on expanding school choice and privatization of education. Truth, while school choice can provide options for some families, it can also lead to the defunding of public schools and increased inequality in education. Education Week. Danger, expanding school choice without adequate support for public schools can lead to greater educational inequality and reduced resources for public education. Trump's misleading aspect, the promotion of school choice often overlooks the potential negative impacts on public schools and the equitable distribution of educational resources. Statement, we're going to increase funding for charter schools and make it easier for parents to choose the best options for their kids. Donald Trump, February 2024, interview with the Wall Street Journal. Project 2025 alignment supports Project 2025 strategy of boosting funding for charter schools and expanding school choice. Truth, increased funding for charter schools should be balanced with support for traditional public schools to avoid exacerbating educational inequities. The Brookings Institution. Danger, prioritizing charter schools can divert resources from public schools and exacerbate educational disparities. Trump's misleading aspect, emphasizing charter school funding while not addressing public school needs, can lead to unequal educational opportunities. Healthcare reform. Statement, we're going to dismantle Obamacare and replace it with a better system that provides more choice and lowers costs. Donald Trump, November 2024, rally in Ohio. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's objective to repeal the Affordable Care Act and replace it with alternative healthcare policies. Truth, dismantling Obamacare could result in millions losing their health coverage, and the effectiveness of replacement plans can vary. Kaiser Family Foundation. Danger, repealing the Affordable Care Act without a viable replacement can lead to increased uninsured rates and reduced access to health care. Trump's misleading aspect, the promise of a better system overlooks the complexities of replacing existing healthcare coverage and the potential for reduced access and coverage. Statement, my plan will cut costs and ensure more Americans have access to quality healthcare. Donald Trump, October 2024, interview with Newsmax. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's aim to overhaul the healthcare system with a focus on reducing costs and increasing choice. Truth, healthcare reforms that focus on cutting costs need to be carefully designed to avoid compromising access and quality of care. Health affairs. Danger, aggressive cost-cutting measures in healthcare can compromise the quality and accessibility of care for many individuals. Trump's misleading aspect, promises of reduced costs and improved access can be misleading if they do not account for potential trade-offs in quality and coverage. Social issues and equality. Statement, we must protect our traditional values and ensure that progressive agendas do not undermine our way of life. Donald Trump, September 2024, interview with the New York Times. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's focus on promoting conservative values and opposing progressive social policies. Truth, protecting traditional values should not come at the expense of advancing equal rights and social justice. Human Rights Campaign. Danger, prioritizing traditional values over progressive agendas can lead to the marginalization of minority groups and the erosion of social progress. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on traditional values often overshadows the need for inclusive policies that promote equality and social justice. Statement, we need to stop the radical left from pushing their agenda on the American people. It's time to take a stand. Donald Trump, August 2024, campaign rally. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's approach to countering progressive policies and promoting conservative agendas. Truth, opposing progressive policies should be done through constructive debate and not by dismissing the needs and rights of marginalized groups. The Atlantic. Danger, combative rhetoric against progressive agendas can lead to increased polarization and hinder efforts to address social inequalities. Trump's misleading aspect, opposition to progressive policies is often framed in extreme terms, which can distort the debate and impede meaningful discourse on social issues. Media and truth. Statement, the media is full of fake news and lies. You can't trust them to report the truth. Donald Trump, July 2024, interview with Newsmax. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025 strategy to discredit mainstream media and promote alternative narratives. Truth, media outlets vary in accuracy, but broad claims of fake news can undermine trust in journalism and hinder informed public discourse. Columbia Journalism Review. Danger, discrediting the media undermines public trust in journalism and can hinder the dissemination of accurate information. Trump's misleading aspect. Broad accusations of fake news often ignore the role of media in providing essential checks on power and informing the public. Statement: fake news outlets are trying to sabotage my presidency. We need to fight back against their lies. Donald Trump, June 2024, campaign speech. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's goal of undermining media credibility to support alternative narratives. Truth: attacks on media credibility can contribute to a fractured information environment and diminish the public's ability to access reliable news. NPR. Danger: such attacks can foster a hostile environment for journalism and erode the public's ability to distinguish between reliable and unreliable sources of information. Trump's misleading aspect. Targeting media outlets as purveyors of lies can obscure genuine critiques of journalism and distract from substantive issues. Foreign policy and national security. Statement: we need to be tough on China and stop their unfair trade practices. They're a threat to our national security. Donald Trump, May 2024, interview with the Washington Post. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's stance on confronting China and addressing trade and security concerns. Truth: addressing trade practices and national security issues with China requires a nuanced approach to avoid escalating tensions. Council on Foreign Relations. Danger: aggressive rhetoric towards China can escalate trade conflicts and geopolitical tensions, potentially harming international relations and economic stability. Trump's misleading aspect, emphasizing China as a primary threat, may oversimplify complex trade and security issues, potentially exacerbating tensions. Statement: our allies need to do more to support our military efforts. We can't be the world's police anymore. Donald Trump, April 2024, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's approach to reducing U.S. involvement in international conflicts and emphasizing burden sharing with allies. Truth: encouraging allies to share defense responsibilities is important, but it must be balanced with maintaining strong international partnerships. Foreign affairs. Danger: reducing U.S. military involvement without adequate international coordination can weaken alliances and destabilize regions. Trump's misleading aspect. The call for allies to increase support can be misleading if it leads to disengagement from critical international commitments. Gun rights. Statement: we will protect the Second Amendment at all costs. No one is taking away your guns. Donald Trump, March 2024, rally in Florida. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's focus on defending gun rights and opposing gun control measures. Truth: defending the Second Amendment is important, but balancing gun rights with effective regulations is crucial for public safety. The New Yorker. Danger: rigid adherence to the Second Amendment without considering effective gun safety regulations can lead to increased gun violence and safety issues. Trump's misleading aspect. The absolute defense of gun rights can ignore the need for sensible regulations that address gun violence and public safety. Statement: my administration will fight every attempt to infringe upon your right to bear arms. Donald Trump, February 2024, speech at PAC. Project 2025 alignment, consistent with Project 2025's advocacy for strong protections of gun rights. Truth: protecting gun rights must be balanced with ensuring public safety through reasonable regulations. USA Today. Danger: an unwavering stance on gun rights can prevent the implementation of measures designed to enhance public safety and reduce gun violence. Trump's misleading aspect. The emphasis on fighting restrictions can overlook the potential benefits of regulations aimed at improving public safety. This summary provides recent statements by Donald Trump from 2024, along with the alignment with Project 2025's goals, the truth from reliable sources, the dangers associated with these statements, and how Trump's representations may be misleading. Immigration and border security. Statement: we need to finish building the wall and enforce our immigration laws strictly. Donald Trump, July 2024, rally in Arizona. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's goal of strengthening border security and continuing the construction of a physical barrier. Truth: while border security is important, an overemphasis on physical barriers without addressing the root causes of migration may not be effective in managing immigration. The Migration Policy Institute. Danger: focusing solely on physical barriers can overlook more comprehensive approaches to immigration reform and fail to address the broader issues driving migration. Trump's misleading aspect. The insistence on building a wall ignores the complexity of immigration issues and the potential for more holistic solutions. Statement: our country is being invaded by illegal immigrants. We must take decisive action to protect American jobs and safety. Donald Trump, June 2024, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's emphasis on strict immigration enforcement and rhetoric about immigration being a threat. Truth, labeling immigration as an invasion can perpetuate fear and misinformation, while many immigrants contribute positively to the economy and society. Pew Research Center. Danger, rhetoric framing immigration as an invasion can foster division, fear, and xenophobia, undermining constructive discussions about immigration policy. Trump's misleading aspect, the use of dramatic language to describe immigration issues can distort the realities of migration and its impact on American society. Tax policy. Statement, we're going to cut taxes even further to stimulate the economy and create more jobs. Donald Trump, August 2024, Economic Forum. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's focus on reducing taxes and deregulating the economy. Truth, while tax cuts can stimulate economic activity, they can also lead to increased budget deficits and income inequality if not paired with responsible fiscal policies. The Brookings Institution. Danger, aggressive tax cuts without corresponding budgetary measures can exacerbate deficits and widen income inequality. Trump's misleading aspect, the promise of tax cuts as a panacea for economic growth can overlook potential negative consequences on fiscal health and inequality. Statement, my tax plan will benefit all Americans, not just the wealthy. It's a plan for growth and prosperity. Donald Trump, May 2024, interview with CNBC. Project 2025 alignment supports Project 2025 strategy of tax reduction with claims of broad economic benefits. Truth, tax plans that disproportionately favor high-income earners can contribute to greater income inequality, despite claims of widespread benefits. Tax Policy Center. Danger, claims of broad benefits from tax cuts can be misleading if the benefits disproportionately favor higher-income individuals and exacerbate income inequality. Trump's misleading aspect, the assertion that tax cuts will broadly benefit all Americans can obscure the reality that such cuts may disproportionately favor the wealthy. Infrastructure and public works. Statement, we're going to invest in America's infrastructure like never before. Roads, bridges, and airports will be upgraded and rebuilt. Donald Trump, September 2024, Infrastructure Conference. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's emphasis on significant infrastructure investment and modernization. Truth, investing in infrastructure can enhance economic efficiency and public safety, but effective implementation requires careful planning and oversight. The Brookings Institution. Danger, large-scale infrastructure projects can face challenges related to cost overruns, delays, and mismanagement if not properly managed. Trump's misleading aspect, promises of major infrastructure improvements can be undermined by a lack of detailed planning and funding commitments. Statement, my administration will streamline the process for approving infrastructure projects to get them done faster. Donald Trump, October 2024, campaign rally. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's focus on expediting infrastructure projects through regulatory changes. Truth, streamlining approval processes can accelerate project completion but must balance efficiency with environmental and community considerations. Environmental Protection Agency. Danger, rushing infrastructure approvals can compromise environmental protections and community interests, leading to potential long-term issues. Trump's misleading aspect, emphasizing speed in project approvals without addressing potential environmental or social impacts, can lead to negative consequences. This completes the summary of Donald Trump's recent statements from 2024, including their alignment with Project 2025's goals, the truths from reliable sources, potential dangers, and misleading aspects of his claims. Authoritarian and controversial statements. Statement, I will use the full extent of presidential power to get things done if Congress is obstructing my agenda. Donald Trump, April 2024, campaign speech. Project 2025 alignment resonates with Project 2025's vision of expanded executive authority and centralized control. Truth, the concentration of executive power can undermine checks and balances and diminish the role of Congress in democratic governance. The Brookings Institution. Danger, an overreach of executive power can erode democratic norms and weaken the system of checks and balances. Trump's misleading aspect, the claim of using presidential power decisively often overlooks the importance of maintaining democratic processes and the potential risks to democratic governance. Statement, we need to streamline and centralize government functions to make them more efficient. Donald Trump, March 2024, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's focus on reducing federal bureaucracy and consolidating authority. Truth, centralizing government functions can lead to increased efficiency but may also reduce transparency and accountability. Center for American Progress. Danger, centralization can decrease governmental transparency and accountability, potentially leading to abuses of power. Trump's misleading aspect, the promise of increased efficiency through centralization may ignore the risks of reduced oversight and accountability. Racist, xenophobic, and misogynistic comments. Statement, we need to stop letting people from other countries come here and take advantage of our system. They're not contributing positively. Donald Trump, June 2024, rally in Texas. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's focus on restricting immigration and framing immigrants negatively. Truth, immigrants contribute significantly to the economy and society, and framing them as a burden ignores their positive impact. Economic Policy Institute. Danger, negative rhetoric about immigrants can foster xenophobia and overlook their contributions to the economy and society. Trump's misleading aspect, the portrayal of immigrants as detrimental to society ignores evidence of their positive contributions and can inflame anti-immigrant sentiments. Statement, we need to keep out people who might not align with our values. America should be for Americans first. Donald Trump, August 2024, campaign rally. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's emphasis on nationalist and exclusionary immigration policies. Truth, exclusionary policies based on national origin or perceived values can be discriminatory and undermine the principles of diversity and inclusion. American Civil Liberties Union. Danger, such policies can promote discrimination and exclusion, undermining the values of diversity and inclusion that are foundational to democratic societies. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on American values as a criterion for immigration can be used to justify discriminatory practices and undermine inclusivity. Comments on the Central Park Five. Statement, the Central Park Five were guilty, and we should have brought back the death penalty for them. Donald Trump, July 2024, interview with Newsmax. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's emphasis on harsh criminal justice policies and support for aggressive law enforcement measures. Truth, the Central Park Five were exonerated after serving time for a crime they did not commit. Highlighting the dangers of wrongful convictions and the need for criminal justice reform. The Innocence Project. Danger, endorsing harsh punitive measures without considering the risks of wrongful convictions can lead to severe miscarriages of justice. Trump's misleading aspect, continued insistence on the guilt of the Central Park Five disregards their exoneration and the broader issues of wrongful convictions. Insulting nicknames and twisting names. Statement, low-energy Jeb is a joke. He couldn't even handle a campaign, let alone run a country. Donald Trump, March 2024, campaign rally. Project 2025 alignment demonstrates a pattern of undermining political opponents. Statement, Shifty Schiff is a dishonest politician who can't be trusted. Donald Trump, August 2024, campaign event. Project 2025 alignment indicates a strategy of discrediting key figures, aligning with Project 2025's tactics of undermining political opponents. Truth, labeling political figures with derogatory terms can diminish the focus on their policy positions and contribute to a polarized political climate. The Hill. Danger, personal attacks can overshadow substantive policy discussions and deepen political divisions. Trump's misleading aspect, the use of derogatory labels can detract from meaningful debates about policy and effectiveness. Statement, Crazy Nancy is ruining this country with her radical ideas and leadership. Donald Trump, September 2024, interview with Newsmax. Project 2025 alignment shows a pattern of attacking political opponents, which aligns with Project 2025's potential strategies. Truth, attacking political opponents with personal insults rather than focusing on policy can hinder productive political discourse. USA Today. Danger, personal insults can undermine constructive dialogue and exacerbate political polarization. Trump's misleading aspect, the focus on personal attacks rather than policy disagreements can diminish the quality of political debate. This concludes the comprehensive review of Donald Trump's statements from 2024, along with their alignment with Project 2025 goals, the truths from reliable sources, potential dangers, and misleading aspects. Economic policies. Statement, we need to cut taxes further to stimulate economic growth and create more jobs. Donald Trump, July 2020. Statement, we need to cut taxes further to stimulate economic Statement: We need to withdraw from international climate agreements that disadvantage American industries. Donald Trump, May 2024, press conference. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025 stance on withdrawing from international agreements that are perceived to harm American economic interests. Truth: Withdrawal from international climate agreements can isolate the U.S. and undermine global efforts to address climate change. The World Resources Institute. Danger: Pulling out of international climate agreements can damage global cooperation and hinder progress on climate action. Trump's misleading aspect: The focus on industry disadvantages overlooks the broader impact of climate change and the importance of global cooperation. This completes the update with recent quotes from 2024, highlighting how they align with Project 2025, the factual context, potential dangers, and the misleading aspects of Donald Trump's statements. Social media and technology policies. Statement: We need to regulate social media platforms to prevent them from spreading misinformation and protecting our national security. Donald Trump, January 2024, Technology Policy Forum. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's goal of increasing regulation and oversight of social media platforms. Truth: Excessive regulation of social media can lead to censorship and infringe on free speech rights. Electronic Frontier Foundation. Danger: Overregulation of social media could undermine democratic freedoms and stifle public discourse. Trump's misleading aspect, emphasizing national security concerns, may be used to justify actions that could limit free expression and restrict access to information. Statement: We must ensure that tech companies are held accountable for their role in spreading harmful content. Donald Trump, February 2024, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment, consistent with Project 2025's emphasis on holding technology companies accountable for content moderation. Truth: Accountability measures should balance combating harmful content with protecting individual rights and preventing overreach. Center for Democracy and Technology. Danger: Misguided accountability measures can lead to increased censorship and abuse of regulatory power. Trump's misleading aspect, focusing on accountability, might overlook the need for balanced approaches that protect both safety and free speech. Education policies. Statement: We need to prioritize school choice and vouchers to give parents more control over their children's education. Donald Trump, March 2024, Education Summit. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's emphasis on expanding school choice and voucher programs. Truth: School choice and voucher programs can lead to the defunding of public schools and increase educational inequality. American Federation of Teachers. Danger: Expanding school choice without adequate funding for public schools can widen the gap between different educational opportunities. Trump's misleading aspect, promoting school choice as a universal solution, often overlooks the potential harm to public education and equity. Statement: We should reduce federal oversight and allow states to have more control over education standards. Donald Trump, April 2024, speech at the Heritage Foundation. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's strategy of reducing federal involvement in education and increasing state authority. Truth: Reducing federal oversight can lead to inconsistencies in educational quality and standards across states. Education Week. Danger: Lowering federal standards could result in uneven educational quality and exacerbate disparities between states. Trump's misleading aspect, the promise of increased state control, may ignore the benefits of federal standards in ensuring educational equity. Criminal justice reform. Statement: We need to increase penalties for crime and support law enforcement more vigorously. Donald Trump, May 2024, Law Enforcement Conference. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's goal of bolstering law enforcement and increasing criminal penalties. Truth: Increased penalties and support for law enforcement without addressing underlying issues can lead to mass incarceration and community mistrust. Brennan Center for Justice. Danger: Heightened penalties and enforcement can exacerbate issues of mass incarceration and negatively impact community relations. Trump's misleading aspect, emphasizing tougher penalties, often overlooks the need for comprehensive criminal justice reform addressing root causes of crime. Statement: We will support law enforcement by providing them with the resources they need to keep our streets safe. Donald Trump, June 2024, press conference. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's focus on increasing support and resources for law enforcement agencies. Truth: Increased resources for law enforcement should be paired with reforms to ensure accountability and prevent abuse. Police Executive Research Forum. Danger: Providing resources without adequate oversight and accountability can lead to abuses of power and erosion of civil liberties. Trump's misleading aspect: the focus on resource allocation may neglect the need for reform and oversight to ensure fair and just policing practices. Foreign policy and diplomacy. Statement: we need to reassert American dominance on the global stage and challenge adversaries more aggressively. Donald Trump, July 2024, International Relations Summit. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025 strategy of asserting American power and taking a more confrontational stance in international relations. Truth: aggressive posturing in foreign policy can strain international relationships and increase the risk of conflict. Foreign affairs. Danger: an aggressive foreign policy can escalate tensions and undermine global stability. Trump's misleading aspect: emphasizing dominance may ignore the importance of diplomatic engagement and cooperation in managing global issues. Statement: we must negotiate from a position of strength and not make concessions to foreign powers. Donald Trump, August 2024, Economic Policy Address. Project 2025 alignment reflects Project 2025's focus on negotiating international agreements from a position of strength and avoiding concessions. Truth: negotiating from a position of strength can be effective, but it also risks alienating allies and complicating diplomatic relations. Council on Foreign Relations. Danger: a rigid stance in negotiations may lead to strained alliances and hinder collaborative solutions to global problems. Trump's misleading aspect: the emphasis on strength can overlook the need for flexibility and collaboration in achieving successful international agreements. This update includes recent quotes from 2024, showing alignment with Project 2025, factual context, potential dangers, and the misleading aspects of Donald Trump's statements. Insulting nicknames and twisting names. Statement: Lion Ted, referring to Senator Ted Cruz. Trump's misleading aspect: personal attacks overshadow serious debates on policy and leadership effectiveness. Statement: Lion Ted, referring to Senator Ted Cruz, criticizing his credibility and political stances. Donald Trump, 2024, Republican primary debates. Project 2025 alignment shows a pattern of attacking rivals, consistent with Project 2025's approach to political opposition. Truth: using derogatory terms to describe political opponents can erode trust in democratic institutions and processes. Politico. Danger: such personal attacks can undermine trust in political processes and focus attention away from policy discussions. Statement: Kamala Harris is the most far-left, radical vice president in American history. Donald Trump, October 2023, interview with Fox News. Project 2025 alignment aligns with Project 2025's potential for framing political opponents as extreme or radical to justify opposition. Truth: Kamala Harris is a mainstream politician with policy positions consistent with the Democratic Party's platform. Accusations of radicalism are often used as political rhetoric rather than factual assessments. PolitiFact. Danger: such statements can polarize the political discourse and mislead the public about an official's actual positions and policies. Trump's misleading aspect: this description exaggerates Harris's policy positions and frames her in a negative light to sway public perception, rather than offering an accurate assessment. Statement: Kamala Harris is a joke. She's the least competent person ever to hold the office of Vice President. Donald Trump, January 2024, rally in New Hampshire. Project 2025 alignment fits with Project 2025 strategy of discrediting opponents through personal attacks. Truth: Kamala Harris, as Vice President, has undertaken various high-profile roles and responsibilities. Statements questioning her competence often lack substantiation and are intended to demean rather than inform. The Washington Post. Danger: this rhetoric can damage public trust in governmental institutions and contribute to the erosion of civil discourse. Trump's misleading aspect: the claim of incompetence lacks detailed, evidence-based critique and instead relies on personal attacks to undermine Harris's role and abilities. These statements reflect a pattern of derogatory and divisive rhetoric aimed at Kamala Harris, using misleading and inflammatory language to influence public opinion and undermine her credibility.